Sorry, I don't have any, fanfare balloons, so I did the best I could. I know I promised you guys a special episode 50, celebrations and whatnot, but you know what? I'll be straight with you guys. I lost my job already. And I'm sure certain people in Sacramento are gonna dive on that. Oh, you lost a job. I've had the same job forever. In that voice, because that's how he talks. The truth is, the job I had when I started doing talk wrestling again was a commission-based sales job. And if you don't produce X amount of dollars in X amount of time, you're let go. First week, I did really good. Aaron will vouch for that. I did really good the first week, and then the last 2 weeks, I kind of tapered off because the economy sucks, people. People aren't buying services like the agency I had offered. So, whatever. Shit happens. So, I don't have any money. Aaron's broke. We're all broke. We're saving our money for WrestleMania 26 in Phoenix, Glendale, Arizona, not Phoenix. So, you get the cool jersey that the Kings put out this year. You get the cool glasses that I've worn in the last few episodes. And you get a cool bottle of Crystal Geyser, baby. That's my celebration right there. You missed my birthday. That was a fun celebration. I got drunk for the first time, I don't know how long. I enjoyed it. So that was my celebration. I hope you enjoyed this episode, though. We've got some good questions for this show. Those of you that emailed me on Yahoo, either at jdmeach1@yahoo.com or talkwrestlingodq@yahoo.com, you'll be addressed the next episode. These questions are strictly off the YouTube comment board, and we appreciate your questions as well. I said leave the questions there, so go ahead and leave them there, and I'm going to get to them right now. This guy, he puts his name in the question in caps with an exclamation point, so I'm going to say it just like he typed it. I'm assuming he's going for the Austin Powers feel, so I'm going to do that. This is from, let's see. Hey Jeff, it's Scott! Like Frau for Business said Scott. I used to do it really well, and I can't do it anymore. Scott says, what do you think at WrestleMania 25 the Legends will come out and attack Jericho? And he spelled come C-U-M. I highly doubt that the Legends will come out and, spray semen on Chris Jericho. As far as them actually entering into the arena and attacking Chris Jericho, I think that I think we'll see one Legend. And you know what? Somebody pointed this out to me on their blog, and I believe it's the man behind this camera. Monday night is March 16th, 3/16. They are in Texas this Monday. And I don't think Flair is going to be the one to wrestle Chris Jericho. Flair's retired. The man from Texas that is associated with 316 never said he retired. To my knowledge. He just had to go away because he was having neck problems and joint problems and whatnot. Just food for thought, people. Watch the show Monday. We'll see. This is from Donnie TG. As we all know, WWE says that Ric Flair is a 16-time world champion, when in fact he is a 22-time world champion. Why does the WWE refuse to acknowledge the 6 other world title reigns? If you count the 2 reigns Ric Flair had as the WCW International World Champion, which one was from September 1st until Fall Brawl, one was June 23rd, 1994, when he unified it with the WCW World title when he beat Sting, then yes, Ric Flair is indeed a 22-time world champion. I don't tend to count those. Most people don't tend to count those. He's a 10-time NWA champion, 8-time WCW champion, 2-time WWF champion, which makes it 20. I don't know why WWE refuses to acknowledge the other title reigns that Ric Flair has held. I would think that, adding more titles would add to Flair's prestige. But WWE and Ric Flair apparently is towing the company line. He seems to want to keep it. I talked about this on either XMV or another Talk Wrestling before. They want to keep it the way. I mean, they've marketed shirts with that. They've hats and posters and all this stuff with Ric Flair. 16-time world. It's on Titantron and everything. I don't know. That'd be a question I would have asked Ric Flair if I had $3,000 to raise to bring him on the show, but I didn't. So, and now he's back with WWE doing his show on WWE.com. So you won't see Ric Flair on this show, but ask him yourself. Send in questions to WWE.com. Call WWE offices. Tell them Jeff sent you. They'll know who I am, I promise. And ask Flair, ask WWE why they don't acknowledge Ric Flair's true greatness. TNA Evolution from Harry S. Oh, okay, I guess his real name is Harry. Hey Jeff, what are your thoughts on Jeff Hardy versus Matt Hardy happening at WrestleMania? How do you think the storyline will progress and which brother will win? P.S. Christian for Money in the Bank. I've addressed the Hardys feud already once. I'll go into it a little bit. They both didn't qualify for Money in the Bank. I'm not surprised. I think they'll be in a match with each other, which, again, I called that when hit Jeff over the head with a chair. Just like I called 6 months ago, I believe on this show and to my friends, that The Undertaker would face Shawn Michaels this year at WrestleMania. Nobody believed me. Barry Horowitz, pat on the back. I called that 6 months ago. As far as the Hardys, it will be nothing short of a really good match, I think. The Hardys have feuded before. I've talked about this before. They feuded in 01 and 02/03. But they never had the grand stage to feud on WrestleMania. This will be their crowning moment as a feud against each other. And I think they'll both do very, very well. And Christian being the Money in the Bank, I think he's going to win it. Christian's going to win Money in the Bank this year and cash it in against the World or WWE Champion. I see that happening. Of all the guys in Money in the Bank, Christian's the guy. Mentioned the Hall of Famer Ric Flair earlier. This one's from FWF Chairman. Do you think Jake the Snake Roberts will ever get into the WWE Hall of Fame? I had a question for the next show that, you know what, Aaron, I'll go ahead and address it now. The Hall of Fame in general, the quality has been greatly reduced as of Monday night when the perennial mid-carder / jobber Coco Beware was announced that they're going to induct him in the Hall of Fame. The first part that really strikes me as funny is the guy inducting him, the Honky Tonk Man, I believe it's Honky Tonk Man inducting him, deserves it more than Coco. The longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time doesn't go in before a guy that never held a championship in WWE. Never did anything of significance in WWE. The two things I can remember about Coco Beware that strike me right away, he was part of WrestleMania 3. I believe he wrestled Butch Reed. Could be wrong. I believe it was Butch Reed because Tito Santana interfered to get to Slick, who was managing Butch at the time. And Coco teamed with Owen Hart as part of High Energy. Other than that, I can't remember. Oh, and he had Frankie, of course. God rest Frankie. Other than that, I don't remember anything that Coco Beware ever did. Honky Tonk Man held the Intercontinental Championship for over a year. Jake the Snake Roberts made a huge impact as a heel and as a babyface in the WWE. You've got all these guys who sit there, and a lot of the current guys are going to go in soon. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, Stone Cold's going in this year. The Rock will go in soon. Mick Foley, when he leaves TNA, will go in. All these people that are more deserving of it are not in, and Coco Beware is in. And that's not the only discrepancy I see with WWE, the WWE Hall of Fame. I can't remember any names off the top of my head, but there's a lot of guys in there that don't belong in there. The whole celebrity wing thing is ridiculous. I am one of the biggest Pete Rose fans in the history of Pete Rose, but he deserves no place in the WWE Hall of Fame whatsoever. I'm sorry. He got tombstoned and chokeslammed by Kane. He got a stink face by Rikishi, and he was in a No Mercy commercial. That's all he did. The Fridge. Fridge was in the Battle Royal at WrestleMania 2, which is one of the bigger WrestleManias of all time. It was the three venue WrestleMania. His induction, I go back and forth with. But, Muhammad Ali, celebrity-wise, should be in the Hall of Fame. Celebrity. Mike Tyson should be in the Hall of Fame. Who else? Big celebrity involved. Anybody that really appeared at WrestleMania in a serious capacity, Motorhead should be in the WWE Hall of Fame for their twice playing Triple H to the ring. The Limp Bizkit should be in the Hall of Fame for playing the Undertaker to the ring and having the theme song for WrestleMania 19. Any of those people. But Coco Beware? Vince, why? I don't understand that. Art Zager, were you at all satisfied with celebrity involvements in WWE, WCW, WWF, etc.? Why or why not? It depends which one you're talking about. Some of them have been really, really good. Some of them have been really, really stupid. Mostly in WCW, they're really, really stupid. Rodman and Karl Malone. Karl Malone wrestled pretty well. Rodman was terrible. You had, at one point, if I remember this right, Aaron's going to have to help me out here real quick. Chucky was on Nitro at one point, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Against Rick Steiner. He wasn't against it, but he was on the Tron talking to him. Yeah, I remember that. That was hokey. WCW celebrity involvement was pretty much terrible. The WWE tends to work celebrities better. You had, the girls at WrestleMania 11, Pam Hart, Pamela Anderson, and Jenny McCarthy were both very well presented. Mary Hart was good at WrestleMania 3. Bob Uecker was good at both WrestleManias. Elvira was at WrestleMania 2. I met Elvira. That was so cool. Anytime you had WWE involvement, they pretty much did it right. There were a few times where I was like, ooh, okay, not so much. But mostly they've done pretty good. Satisfied myself with it. Like I said, it depends which one you're talking about. Some of them I enjoyed. Some of them I thought were really stupid and, like I said, hokey. This year's WrestleMania, I haven't heard about any celebrities being involved this year. So I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll have to wait and see. This is from Batista Bomber 93. Do you think the WWE will ever untaboo Chris Benoit? Good way to put it. I like the wording. Untaboo Chris Benoit. That's hard to say. I noticed when they did the highlights of the first Money in the Bank match on, I believe it was SmackDown recently, when they showed the highlights of the first ever Money in the Bank match, they didn't show who Edge beat up the top of the ladder. Edge decked Benoit with a chair right on his bad arm. Benoit fell off the ladder. Edge climbed up the ladder and got the briefcase to win the first ever Money in the Bank match. They don't address that part. There's noise. Oh well. We are more professional than noise here on Talk Wrestling. We did it for how many episodes? This is number 50, right? Benoit did, regardless of what his mental state was at the time he committed the acts, he did a terrible thing. And I don't think WWE wants to have any of that public relations nightmare involved with their company anymore. I don't see them ever untabooing Chris Benoit. No. From Frederick Vance. Oh, I actually talked about this earlier. Hey, Jeff, do you think Christian has a chance of being the world champion or WWE champion within the next 2 years like Jeff Hardy? If you remember, Jeff Hardy was in TNA for 2.5 years and became WWE champion within 3 years. Well, yeah, remember this. Both Jeff Hardy and Christian, prior to their TNA runs, were with WWE. So they both had the WWE name and the experience behind them to be recognized by the fans. Jeff Hardy came in, was Intercontinental Champion, Tag Team Champion a couple times with Matt once, and with, the Intercontinental Champion a couple times. And then everybody was, when's he going to win the big one? When's he going to win the big one? Christian has won the big one in TNA, 2-time NWA World Champion, but he's never won the big one in WWE. He's been a multi-time Intercontinental Champion, multi-time Tag Champion, European Champion, I believe, Hardcore Champion. He's won the secondary titles. I said this earlier. He's going to cash in Money in the Bank, be the next one to cash in and win either the World or the WWE Championship. That's what Christian's going to do. I see that happening within the next year or so. Oh, Jesus. I'm going to spell it out. CLEDUSJG76. I don't know how to say that. Let me know. on YouTube. How do you feel about the Orton Triple H match at WrestleMania 25? A lot of people have asked about the match and the build-up. I just happened to see his name on YouTube. I like the way they're going with the storyline. I like the fact that they finally acknowledge that Triple H is a McMahon, and they're having Orton and Triple H kind of, go back and forth and stalk each other, as it were. Triple H going into Orton's home Monday was pretty funny. Legacy thought, we win by forfeit. Yeah, big deal. You gotta win over the WWE champion. Congratulations, DiBiase and Rose. You did good. Meanwhile, your buddy got his ass kicked, and his wife and his father were freaking out. It's funny. It was funny. I like that they're really building this up as the main event, and not the secondary match. Because for a few years, in my opinion, the WWE title match has been a secondary thought. Yes, it was the main event of WrestleMania 23, but Batista Undertaker was the better match. Yes, it was the main event of WrestleMania 22, but Mysterio, Angle, Orton was the better match than was John Cena Triple H. And the WWE title was a secondary title, WrestleMania 21. Well, both title matches stuck to that WrestleMania. Aaron will definitely vouch for that. After the women's title match, that pay-per-view went... You had a sumo match and 2 title matches, and they all sucked after this women's title match. So, you do the math, people. I very much like the fact that both Orton and Triple H are being built up as these two monsters, one side of the other. I like that Triple H said at one point, I'm not a nice person. So, the line between babyface and heel is definitely blurred in this match. I like that a lot. And I do like the fact that, hopefully... Orton will make a clean sweep of the McMahon family and get the WWE title back and be a good heel champion, hopefully. This one is from, Devin Slate. My question to you is, do you think Rey Mysterio will get a push for the title on Raw as far as 2009 is concerned? And do you think he will be a worthy-to-watch leader and give Raw a better rating than they have now? In the immediate time, if he became champion... Raw would get a big rating because people like Rey Mysterio. Overall, though, he wouldn't make a difference in the ratings, and that's just my personal opinion. Mysterio is a high mid-card wrestler. I never saw him as a true main eventer. The fact that he was world champion from WrestleMania to the Great American Bash kind of surprised me. And I truly believe this, and I'm sorry, I go over this over and over again with everybody I talk to. If Eddie Guerrero had not passed away, Rey Mysterio would have never been a main eventer. I firmly believe that. I think Eddie would be in his spot that he's in now, main eventing and getting pushes and doing all these things that Rey Mysterio does. I think Eddie would be in that spot. That's just my opinion. The whole show is just my opinion. I say this all the time, and I get flack for it. So, I get people telling me that I think... Well, I'll get to that later, whatever. No, Mysterio would not get... I don't think he'll get a bigger push than he's getting now. Mysterio is going to be kept right at that level of, upper mid-card. Maybe a main event here and there, but he won't be main eventing permanently. This is from Rusty. Hello, Jeff. Let's say you had a time machine. You can pick one legendary wrestler from the past when they were in their prime and transport them in the WWE today. Who would you pick? Why would you pick them? And who would you have them feud with? This is why I need to prep the questions before I read them, because I need to think about these answers. An obvious answer is Hogan, of course. Bring him forward and have him feud with Orton, with Edge, with Big Show, of course, with any of the monster heels. Bring Stone Cold back, have him feud with those guys. Bring The Rock back, have him feud with those guys. Mick Foley in his prime, back in '96. If I had to pick one, just one, I would pick a workhorse that would really, do well feuding against those guys as a babyface or as a heel. So, if he could behave himself and not do bad things to the McMahon family and get himself in trouble, Randy Savage. All right, kiddies. It's time to address certain people on the internet who have big mouths and don't know when to shut up. I'll get to Mr. Donish in a moment, because I always have to talk about him. Because for some reason, this show has become the Noah Donish response show. When I promised myself, and I promised you guys, I wouldn't turn this into a joke almost 2 years ago. The fact that when XMV died, you know, involvement with other internet people died. But Noah has brought out, you know, the asshole in me, and I hate that. But I'll get to him in a minute. The Pennsylvanian sensation, right? That's his nickname? Yeah. Greg Cherry. Our biggest fan since 2006 here on No DQ Media. When I retired originally earlier this year, he decided to start his own show, The Sensational Experience, which I watched and I enjoyed. Because I was too, according to him, I was too wrapped up in my own stuff to acknowledge him and to thank him for filling the void while I was gone, and for Aaron to thank him for, you know, filling the void while I was gone. He is now lashed out at us. Both of us, Aaron and I. Greg, I'll say it quick, I'll say it smooth. Your show is crap. I was nice enough to watch it. I enjoyed the first one. Your show has declined in quality over the last 5 episodes. He's done 6 episodes, 7 episodes, Aaron, and he thinks his shit don't stink. As far as Noah Donish goes, first of all, Noah, you played a conversation that you and I had on the Inside Scoop earlier. I think it was last year, maybe even early this year. No, last year. It was last year. This year's only 2 months old. Last year, and that issue is dead to me. What I did at my previous employment, I did out of stupidity and out of wrong thinking and poor judgment. I admitted that on your show. I wanted the public forum to do so. But because you had this vendetta against me, you play that crap for the world to hear again? With your little caption in front, would you trust this guy with your granny? Dude, I don't trust you as far as I can throw a mic. Alright? You're untrustworthy and you're scum. And then, after you play that clip and you do your little XTV intro, you say this.
You know what, Jeff? You haven't heard the last of me until SummerSlam, because pretty soon you're going to know just how much I'm capable of. Very, very, very soon. Could be today, could be tomorrow, could be in a week, could be in 2 weeks. You're going to hear from me again. So just stay tuned.
I'm dead serious about this. I want you to come to Southern California for SummerSlam, because I know you're coming, because you bought your little ringside seat with your mom or whoever you're sitting with you, and I want to physically harm you. Okay? Harm you. Disfigure you. Deface your image, however you want to say it. And I want Aaron to film it for the world to see. And I want Aaron, while you're down there, to kick you in the nuts. And I'll film that part.
This August, Jeff Meacham, I'm going to kick the holy fuck out of you and watch you roll over and die.
I'm going to kick the holy fuck out of you and watch you roll over and die. This is why I didn't want to get internet people involved, because I get amped up, man. Noah, a lot has changed since we did storylines on XMV and storylines on XTV and the Inside Scoop and whatever else we've done in the last few years. You're talking about a father of one now, and you're talking about my family, and you're talking about things that don't need to be talked about. Mind your business, or I will be dead serious about this, and I will kick your ass. Okay? We hope you enjoyed this episode, other than that, of Talk Wrestling. There's your little horn again. Next week, or next episode, whenever the episode goes up, we have questions about Hulk Hogan, Kane, the general manager situation in WWE, the released TNA wrestlers going to WWE, British wrestlers, Vern Gagne, we'll talk about him, and more. See you next time.